Sometimes we spend our entire lives trying to make everyone else happy. We bend over backward just to be liked. We keep giving, sacrificing, pleasing, until one day we realize we're completely empty inside. Have you ever felt that? That heaviness in your chest that no one sees? That smile on your face that's hiding a storm? To pause. It's time to think about yourself. Always. You see, Islam doesn't teach us to neglect ourselves. In fact, Allah tells us in the Quran, "O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from the fire." The order is clear, yourself first. Not because you're selfish, but because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help others if your soul is broken. You can't guide others if you're lost. You can't heal others if you're bleeding inside. Let me share with you a true story. There was a sister I once met in South Africa. The kind-hearted woman, always the first to help in her community. Cooking meals for the poor, taking care of orphan children, staying up late counseling young girls who had no one else. She was a hero, really. But one day, she collapsed. Exhaustion. Mental breakdown. Her body couldn't take it anymore. And when she was in the hospital, she told me something I'll never forget. She said, "Mufti, I gave so much of myself to others that I forgot to give anything to myself." My brothers, my sisters, this is what happens when we forget that we matter too. Self-care in Islam is not luxury. It's not selfish, it's responsibility. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the most generous, the most caring, but he also took care of himself. He would retreat into seclusion, speak to Allah in the depths of the night, find peace in solitude. He guarded his spiritual well-being so he could carry the heavy mission placed upon him. Even he had boundaries. Even he had moments where he withdrew, he filled his heart with light. So what about us? We're living in a world that demands so much from us. Society says you have to be productive. You must be successful. You must always be available. And so we keep going, even when we're tired, even when we're hurting. We keep saying yes when every part of us wants to say no. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you asked yourself how you're doing? Not your job, not your spouse, not your children. You. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, "You matter"? There's a beautiful dua of the Prophet, peace be upon him. "O Allah, do not leave me to myself, even for the blink of an eye." Think about that. He's asking Allah not to leave him alone, even for a moment, because he knew the soul needs constant nurturing. He knew that the human being is fragile, that we must be in tune with our own hearts if we are to remain sincere and strong. I want you to imagine something. Imagine your heart is a garden. If you don't water it, if you don't remove the weeds, if you don't give it sunlight, what happens? It dies. That's what happens to our souls when we ignore ourselves. That's what happens when we live for others but forget to live for Allah and ourselves. Sometimes people will guilt you. They'll say, "Oh, you've changed." Yes, you have changed. And that's okay. Growth is change. Healing is change. Setting boundaries is change. Don't let the discomfort with your evolution keep you trapped in who you used to be. You don't owe anyone your destruction just to make them feel safe. You don't have to carry the weight of the world to be a good Muslim. In fact, taking care of yourself is one of the most spiritual things you can do. When you rest with the intention to worship better, that rest becomes worship. When you eat well so you can serve your family, that food becomes charity. When you walk away from toxicity to protect your deen, that step becomes jihad. Subhanallah, how merciful is Allah that even our moments of self-care can become acts of ibadah when done with the right intention. Let me remind you of something profound. On the day of judgment, you won't be asked, "Did you please everyone?" You won't be asked, "Did everyone like you?" No, you'll be asked about yourself. Your actions, your heart, your sincerity, your relationship with Allah. That's it. Everyone else's opinion won't matter. So why are we living our lives based on their expectations? There was a young man who once came to me crying. He had spent years obeying his parents, studying what they wanted, marrying who they chose, sacrificing all his dreams. And now in his 30s, he was broken, depressed. He said, "I did everything right, Mufti, but I don't even know who I am anymore." My heart sank, because this is not uncommon. Too many people live their lives on autopilot. Too many people confuse obedience with self-erasure. But Islam never demanded that. Islam honors your identity, your dreams, your well-being. You are allowed to think about yourself. You are allowed to prioritize your peace. You are allowed to say a no to what drains you and yes to what revives you. You are allowed to step back when you're overwhelmed. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The strong believer is more beloved to Allah than the weak one, though both are good." What kind of strength is he talking about? Strength of iman, strength of character, strength of self-awareness. And you can't have any of that if you're constantly neglecting your own needs. If your cup is always empty. If your prayers are rushed because you're always too busy for yourself. If your heart is heavy and you keep brushing it off. No more. Today is the day you take yourself seriously. Today is the day you say, I am worthy of love. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of healing. Today is the day you begin to rebuild, brick by brick, prayer by prayer, breath by breath, and don't worry about how long it will take. Healing is not a race. Growth is not a competition. Just take one step and then another. Allah sees you. Allah knows. Let me tell you something about the mercy of Allah. Even if the whole world turns away, even if people say you're not good enough, even if they don't understand your pain, Allah does. He is Al-Latif, the most gentle. He is Al-Wadud, the most loving. And He wants you to care for yourself because He created you with value, with purpose, with potential. So the next time you feel guilty for thinking about yourself, remember this: your soul is an amana, trust. You will be asked how you took care of it. You will be asked if you protected your heart. You will be asked if you honored the life Allah gave you. So take that seriously. It's not arrogance. It's not selfishness. It's gratitude. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is pause. Just stop. Breathe, reflect. Ask yourself, am I okay? And if the answer is no, then turn to the one who heals all wounds. Speak to Allah, not in fancy Arabic. Just speak. Cry if you need to. Ask Him for strength, for clarity, for peace, and He will answer. You call upon me, He says, I will respond to you. That is a promise from the King of Kings. So start today. Start now. Choose yourself. Choose your well-being. Choose your connection with Allah. And everything else will fall into place. You'll find that when you take care of your soul, you become a better parent, a better spouse, a better Muslim. Because you're no longer running on empty. You're no longer burning just to light everyone else's path. You become light itself. And before I end, I want to remind you, someone needs to hear this. Someone you know is struggling silently. They're smiling on the outside, but broken inside. So share this message with them. Be the reason they realize they matter too. Be the one who tells them, you are allowed to think about yourself. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But more importantly, implement, reflect on it, practice it. Take care of yourself for the sake of Allah. Because when you are whole, you will change lives. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find the peace you've been searching for all along.